In the mid-1990s, a family from Đồng Nai moved to the central highlands of Vietnam to begin a new life. The land was vast, the forests thick, the air colder than they had ever known. Among them was Miss John Miller, who was only a child at the time. His memories of those early years would forever be tied to one chilling story, a tale of possession that locals whispered about for decades. The new land was harsh. The red dirt roads kicked up clouds of dust in the dry season, and during the rains, the same roads turned into rivers of mud. Houses were simple, built from wood and straw, barely standing against the fierce winds that howled at night. John's mother often cried, wanting to return to Đồng Nai, but the family stayed. Life was hard, but they endured. John's relatives had arrived before them. One of these neighbors was Mr. Lee, a strong farmer who lived with his niece, Hannah, a girl of 16. Hannah was beautiful, with fair skin and long black hair. Young men in the village often lingered near her home, only to be chased away by her uncle. Hannah lived a quiet life, helping in the fields, dreaming like any teenage girl. Near both families' homes stood a massive banyan tree, perched on a hillside. Its trunk was so thick that even 3 grown men could not wrap their arms around it. To children, it was like a guardian of the forest, but to the elders, it was a place of fear. John's mother warned him never to play beneath it. She whispered that snakes lived there, dangerous and waiting to strike, but the truth was darker. Years before, a young woman had hung herself from one of its branches after a forbidden love affair. Villagers avoided the tree, but the road that cut by its roots was the fastest route to the highway. Despite the warnings, Hannah often rested under the banyan tree. She said the shade was cool, the breeze comforting. She even pretended she was a princess in a fairy tale, lying beneath its branches. For months, nothing happened. But one day, everything changed. John remembered the day clearly. Word spread quickly. Hannah has gone mad. Children rushed to Mr. Lee's house, pressing their faces against the wooden shutters. Inside, Hannah sat on a bed, her arms and legs tied. She screamed, cursed, and shouted in strange voices. Sometimes she spoke in Vietnamese, sometimes in the language of the local tribes, a language she had never learned. Her face, once gentle, was twisted with rage. To the villagers, it was no illness, it was possession. The family tried everything. They tied branches of mulberry around her, hoping to trap the spirit. For a while, she grew calm, but soon the fury returned. She spat seeds in people's faces, cursed like a wild woman, and struggled with superhuman strength. When a village shaman was brought in, his chants and offerings had no effect. Exhausted, he left, admitting that the spirit inside her was too strong. That night, Hannah's condition grew worse. Her eyes rolled back, her voice deepened, and she laughed in a way no human should. The villagers were terrified. Some whispered that it was the spirit of the girl who had died under the banyan tree. Others said Hannah was cursed because her birthday matched some unlucky omen. Whatever the reason, she was no longer herself. Desperate, Mr. Lee traveled miles away to find a powerful shaman. When they returned, Hannah was dragged out, still screaming, into the courtyard. The shaman's eyes narrowed as he stared at her. Then, in a voice that cut through the night, he shouted, "Leave this girl!" For a moment, Hannah froze. Her body went limp. Then she collapsed to the ground, sobbing as if waking from a nightmare. After days of torment, she was finally free. The shaman warned the family. Hannah was vulnerable. Spirits would always seek her out. She must wear charms, stay away from the banyan tree, and never walk alone at night. For weeks after, she remained quiet, her eyes haunted. She never spoke of what had happened. Though the villagers whispered endlessly, years passed. Hannah eventually left the Highlands, married, and moved abroad. But the banyan tree remained, standing tall on the hillside. Children no longer played near it, and at night, travelers chose longer paths to avoid it. Some swore they still saw a woman in white drifting near the roots, her hair hanging down, her face hidden in shadow. Others said they heard her weeping in the wind. John, now grown, never forgot. Even decades later, he could recall the night Hannah screamed in voices not her own, the fear in the villagers' eyes, and the heavy silence after the shaman's command. The banyan tree still stands in the Central Highlands, and those who live nearby will tell you, the spirit is still there. This is not just a tale, but a true account passed through generations. At TPI. True Ghost Encounters. We bring you terrifying true stories from around the world. Subscribe now, because the next path you walk, you may not be walking alone. This story is based on true events told by those who lived in the Central Highlands of Vietnam. It is remembered as one of the most haunting cases of possession in the region.